Hello everybody, I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and welcome to WWE Hell in a Cell Kickoff Show. We got Jerry Lawler, we got Peter Rotensberg, we got JBM, and I believe it was like Charlie Caruso, I think? I don't know. It might be Katie Braxton. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be watching this Hell in a Cell Kickoff Show, and it's going to be something special for you today. As we got I'm going to watch the match. If there's a match, I'm going to watch the matchup, and then I'm going to review it once the matchup is over. So welcome to the review of WWE Hell in a Cell, starting with the kickoff show. So let's do this. So the kickoff, I'm going to get to the kickoff show matchup. That was the first matchup. It was Mandy Rose versus Natalya, and well, Natalya picks up the victory, but it was a long, grueling matchup. There was multiple pinfall attempts, and I must say, it was so close. I thought Mandy Rose was going to pick up the victory, but in the end, it was a sharpshooter by Natalya, making Mandy Rose tap out on the kickoff show matchup of Hell in a Cell. Well, and there's not much long of the kickoff show left, so I presume that's the one and only kickoff show matchup. So I'm going to go on to Hell in a Cell itself and go on to the first matchup of the night. I'm going to be in VR watching the matchup, and then after the matchup, I will come out of VR and I'm going to review the entire thing. And until I'll see you in a bit. And the second matchup, Bianca Belair versus Bayley inside the Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And it was a 5-star matchup, admittedly. It was a very good matchup. I enjoyed every last minute of it. It ended when Bayley hit a running senton onto Bayley, and it was on top of the ladder as well, and the back of Bayley, and then she got up and she hit the KOD after setting up the ladder, and hit the KOD, the kiss of death, onto the ladder, pinned her 1, 2, 3. That was it. 3 count for the winner. And still, SmackDown Women's Champion, proving me wrong that the people that go inside the Hell in a Cell for the very first time can win. So ladies and gentlemen, and there you go. Still SmackDown Women's Champion Bianca Belair, and for the second year in a row, second year in a row, Bayley loses. Bayley loses inside the Hell in a Cell. And so, with that being said, we're gonna go on to the next matchup. I cannot believe what I just witnessed. I mean, seriously. We just saw a 4.5-star matchup, in my opinion, between Seth Rollins and Cesaro. And once again, I told you these two were going to have a banger of a matchup. But this time, the ending was not what I seemed as. I thought that with all those two sharpshooters and a crossface, I thought that maybe Cesaro was going to step through for one more last sharpshooter, but then Rollins, out of nowhere, rolled him up with the pinfall attempt, and went 1, 2, 3. That, my friend, was over. And after all that out of nowhere, good God, after all that great, that big matchup, the finish was just so meh with the roll up to finish things off. But Seth Rollins gets a clean victory anyway over Cesaro. So, you know, he's going to be bragging over that over on SmackDown. And now I'm going to go on to the next matchup. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the third matchup of the night is Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler And I tell you what, it was awesome. There was a point where Nia Jax got hypnotized by Alexa Bliss, and indeed she slapped the piss out of Reginald when he was trying to snap her out of it. And in the end, it was Alexa Bliss hitting her version of the Sister Abigail onto Shayna Baszler, and then hitting the Twisted Bliss off the top rope. 1, 2, 3. The winner of the matchup, Alexa Bliss. And that was pretty good. 3.5 stars for me because it was pretty short, but still short and sweet, just like Alexa Bliss. Well, that matchup was awesome. It was a back and forth, but it was an awesome matchup. It was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for the 500th time. And like I said, these two know each other too well. I mean, Sami Zayn got a busted lip halfway through, but in the end, it was Sami Zayn that pulled out the victory after crushing the windpipe of Kevin Owens right into the bottom rope, and then he gets back up into the turnbuckle, and who comes out of nowhere with the haluva kick? Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick onto Kevin Owens. 1, 2, 3. The winner of the matchup, Sami Zayn. That was a good matchup. I enjoyed it. As we'll go on to the next matchup, which is, I think there's only 2 matches left. As far as I can remember. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley and for the Raw Women's Championship, and Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre inside a Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. So let's find out what the next match is. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, and it was a good matchup up to the very last few seconds of the matchup, as Charlotte Flair was this close regaining the Raw Women's Championship. She was so close to making her tap out with figure of 8. Rhea Ripley managed to roll outside the ring, breaking the submission. Charlotte Flair was going to go after Rhea Ripley when Rhea Ripley pulled the table, on the announcer's table, and the top of the announcer table off of the table itself, and whacking Charlotte Flair with that piece of the table, causing the disqualification, which means, and we all know this, and still the Raw Women's Champion Rhea Ripley, due to the fact that she lost by disqualification, because you cannot lose your championship by disqualification or count out. If that's the route that she's going to be a desperate champion, I don't like it. But hey, some champions are like that, and I'm willing to accept it. So, good matchup, 3.5 stars. As we're going to go on to the main event, ladies and gentlemen, there's only 1 match left. Bobby Lashley, the WWE Champion, defending his WWE Championship inside the Hell in a Cell against Drew McIntyre. And if he beats Drew McIntyre, then Drew McIntyre can no longer challenge him for that championship while Lashley is champion. So let's go ahead to that matchup. And at the end of it, I will review the entire Hell in a Cell and the matchup itself. So let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I hope you enjoyed this video, because by God, was it a good one? It was a kind of a stinker at the last minute. I'm going to get rid of Hell in a Cell. It is over with. Once again, another great pay-per-view from WWE. You know, I would say 1 thumbs up and probably 3.5 stars, because there were some stinkers in there, but hey, you know, it's just from top to bottom, the Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre having a great Hell in a Cell matchup at the last minute. But hey, Drew McIntyre was literally seconds away. I think if it wasn't for MVP being first of all, the referee got knocked out, which means the other referee outside of the Hell in a Cell had to come in and make his way to that thing, make his way, you know, to make his way to the ring, and so he had to open the cell gate. The cell gate was open. The door was open, which means MVP was able to get in there. You know, with all this, what's going, they're finally the future shotgun to Bobby Lashley at the end, and then finally it was about to hit a Claymore, but nope. The MVP is there, stopping him, and with a roll-up of all moves, 1, 2, 3, Bobby Lashley is still the WWE Champion. But hey, Hell in a Cell is over now, from top to bottom. Like I said, 3.5 stars in my opinion, because there was a couple of matches that weren't so good, but still pretty amazing. I will continue to watch WWE no matter who gets released, or no matter what happens. I'm Danrvdtree2000, also known as Danrvdtree2000 on Xbox Live, and until next time, for the Money in the Bank predictions, goodbye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to watch the previous video, click on the video on the left. But if you want to watch the playlist, then click on the video on the right. Also, feel free to click subscribe by clicking on the Master Chief icon on the top.